Vital signs and verdicts, truth under the scope. Hospital fails when the profits the hope. Lots of price tag on a corporate sheet that let you bleed till the ledure's complete.
Welcome to Vital Signs and Verdicts, where medicine meets the law and the truth gets put under the microscope. I'm Liam, a former hospital administrator turned whistleblower, and your host. I'm joined by our panel. Hope, a former surgical RN who lived through her own systemic failure. Pete, who holds a doctorate in psychology and helps firms pick juries for high-profile cases. And Dr. Tyler, a medical doctor with a Juris Doctorate who has testified in federal court and before Congress.
Before we begin, everything we discuss today reflects our professional opinions based on publicly available information, including the court filings in this case. Nothing here is legal advice, medical advice, or a statement of fact beyond what is documented in those files.
The Trap, The Reset, and the Woman Who Wouldn't Fold. Tonight on Vital Signs and Verdicts, we're talking about a case that didn't just expose a hospital's behavior, it exposed a system that expected one woman to fold like everyone before her, but she didn't. We have our friends from the morning show, Casey and Calhoun, here to dig in with us. Let's get into it.
Here's the truth. This hospital didn't expect a fight. They expected a pattern. The same pattern they've relied on for years. A patient complains, documents something negative about the family. A wife questions over-medication, restraints, HIPAA violations. Suddenly the chart says she said things she never said. He gets discharged. She writes the board. Silence. She writes patient experience. Silence. She writes again, and they send condolences for a man who is still alive. That's not a typo. That's a system whose internal records don't match reality. And when she kept pushing, the system did what it always does: delay, deflect, deny.
And then comes the part that tells me everything. She asks for records. They tell her she needs a court order. She threatens media. The CEO suddenly wants a meeting. She declines because why meet with the same people who've been lying? Then comes the defamation email, intimidation. Plain and simple. Finally, they hand over records and they're incomplete, missing, altered, contradictory. This isn't a conspiracy. This is a culture of concealment, sloppy documentation, and institutional self-protection. And when she gave official notice of a lawsuit, they waited out the 90 days. They knew the affidavit rule. They knew the trap. They knew most people never make it past that point. But she did.
And here's where the story flips. She files. They panic. They remove it to federal court. Classic move to isolate a pro, say litigant. She gets it remanded. They panic again. Then they go for the kill shot, the affidavit issue.
Well, and that wasn't before they tried to intimidate her by filing motion after motion, thinking the paperwork would overwhelm her. It didn't.
They thought they had her. They thought the questionable vendor would sink her. They thought she'd file something defective and they could end the case forever. But she didn't file it. She corrected it. She told the truth. She protected the court, and the judge saw it.
This is the part I want listeners to understand. The judge had no choice on the affidavit counts. Missouri law is rigid. He had to dismiss them, but he dismissed them without prejudice. No sanctions, no credibility findings, no punishment, no referral. Anyone taking this as a dig at the plaintiff is misinformed and wrong. That is not a loss. That is a reset. That is a judge saying, I see what happened here. I see you didn't intend to deceive. I see you were misled. I see you corrected it. And I'm giving you a clean runway to come back stronger. And when he said, ma'am, I hope you do appeal, that wasn't sarcasm. That was a judge telling her, you were set up, you didn't fall for it, and you deserve another shot.
And this is the part that should ring out for everyone to take note of and understand. This plaintiff did everything right and more. She obviously has strong moral principles. She obviously didn't let the fact that no attorney wanted to touch a case with this many obstacles stop her. She said, fine, I will play.
I have never seen a regular citizen without a PR firm, without deep pockets, have the ability to earn the respect of people that were flat against her in the beginning. And I can't even tell you how many posts I have seen, or how many callers or emails we have had from some of her biggest and loudest critics saying, I am sorry.
Because she has always kept her narrative about the case and the good for the community. Any negative comment she has been able to turn into a teaching moment or an opportunity for healthy conversation.
I respect the hell out of this woman. She went up to bat, and she is playing in the pros with one of the top law firms in the country.
And they didn't sick their mid-level attorney on her. This guy is at the top of the food chain.
Right. And she is doing more than just holding her own. She is making them work. She files her papers like a veteran litigator. At this point, if I am the hospital, I am having a meeting about the best way to contain this because right now this all is blowing up in their face.
And the moment this gets national attention, CoxHealth has a real issue, and they know it.
I believe there are a lot of things at play right now, but this boils down to a hospital that hasn't been documenting properly, and that lack of documentation alone is a liability for any patient that enters those doors. And now that they just so happened to forget a federal judge's order to preserve records and went forward with a massive migration anyway, tells you how above the law they think they are. Well, Cox Medical Center Branson, CoxHealth, you are officially exposed. And now that the wrapping is coming off, things could ultimately crumble in a massive way for them.
What we know is records have been altered, changed, deleted. A man lost his life, a wife lost her husband, a community has gone unheard for years, and a hospital has gone unchecked and gotten cocky about it.
This woman is tenacious. She is a force. She has overwhelming support, and the few that don't support her, I think they just don't understand what is really going on here. What happened in court wasn't the end of her case. This was the beginning. She avoided the trap. She protected her integrity. She protected her case, and now she gets to refile with real affidavits, real experts, and a clean slate.
The hospital thought she'd be like everyone else. They thought she'd stop. They thought she'd fold.
She didn't.
And that's why this story isn't over.
Not even close.
We want to know what you think. Write in the comments below, find us on Facebook or YouTube, and like us, subscribe. Remember, patient rights aren't optional. Accountability isn't negotiable, and integrity is doing the right thing, even when no one is watching.
Hospital fails when the profit's the hope. Lots of price tag on a corporate sheet that let you bleed.